This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Motion to open the meeting.
I make a motion to open the meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, public speak time. Is there someone publicly would like to speak? Okay. Can I have an approval of the minutes from the October meeting?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the October meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, can he second? He wasn't here.
Was I here in October?
Were you not here then?
I thought that was September.
Next to Helen and Joe.
Oh, no, he wasn't here. You weren't
Right,
here.
I
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
here.
You can't. I will second it. All in favor? Aye. Second. Public hearings. I have first on here fee changes for 2025.
Yeah, so I was hoping that the mayor or the city council president would be here to help discuss this. We have been asked to raise the fees for about 3 years now. So over the last 3 years, I have done local fee comparisons as well as a proposed fee schedule for increases. I figured it would be better. We had put this off twice because of the pandemic happening and we didn't want to impact businesses further. And upon thinking about that, I went a little further and thought we shouldn't increase them all in one shot either, that we should do this as incremental increases over the next 3 years so it's not a hard hit for our businesses. So you'll see the proposed increases, which are in line with cities and towns locally with the same population size. It's kind of hard to determine population size versus how many businesses they have that have alcohol licenses as well. That's not information I could collect easily. So I went more based on population and what their licenses were set at. So the fee increase over the course of 3 years would bring us up to par with the rest of Massachusetts, essentially.
So the all alcohol is only about $300 more a year,
Correct. Nothing goes up more than $300 over the course of 3 years.
except for
With the exception of the
farmers.
farmer's pouring permit, because when we initially licensed farmer's pouring permits, we did it at that $100 fee because they were brand new business, brand new.
And it was supposed to just be
Type-
like a tasting.
Right, and then it was supposed to increase if it went up, and so for the last, long before my tenure, 5, 6 years ago, we have not changed that. So that was supposed to be changed at least 7 years ago. So that fee goes up much more significantly. However, I set it at the same as a wine and malt annual license,
Correct.
reduced. And you'll see
Yeah.
that.
No, I think that's a reasonable fee. Definitely.
Nothing changes for entertainment, amusement, or dealership licenses because we're in line with everyone else, so I felt no need to increase those either. And then special one-day fees, to be in line with others, I just suggested that we propose a flat fee instead of doing something different for profit versus nonprofit.
Okay.
So that just goes from 50 to 75.
Along with it still be the $25 or $50 administrative fee.
Correct. So we would just ask the board to vote on this tonight since we've been trying to vote on it for 3 years.
It looks in line with everything that we've discussed in previous
Yeah.
years, and we just didn't act upon it because of COVID. Didn't want to put any more hardships.
And to be clear for anyone in the room and anyone watching, this wouldn't take effect until the 2025 renewal season because everyone's already paid for 2024. We wouldn't be looking to increase any fees. The next increase would be $100 for the 2025 renewal season. We wouldn't be looking retroactively or anything like that.
Any questions?
No.
Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the fee changes for 2025.
And the years after.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, next public hearing, special one-day application for City Space. Is someone here from City Space?
Yes. Hi, I'm Brenda Sanasi, president of Cityspace.
Hi.
We have 3 requests for one-day licenses for the Blue Room and Old Town Hall. 2 are plays that should be no more than 80 people per show attending. And one is on 12/22 and 12/23, and the other is 12/30/23, which is for a fundraiser for Cityspace and the restoration of Old Town Hall.
Everything's in order and they're paid? Questions? Have a motion, please?
Motion to approve the special one-day application for City Space on 12/22, 23, and 30.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll put that in the system tomorrow.
Thank you. Now I'd like to open the public hearing for the change of manager application for the Polish Pulaski Club. Somebody here from there?
Yep, there's 3 of us. 3, yeah. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, okay. Tell us what you're doing.
So we had to replace our manager, effective October 3rd, I believe was the date. And we have since hired a new manager, Sean Parker O'Grady. And we are looking to move forward with the approval from the board to submit it to the ABCC.
Lindsay, got everything you need?
As far as I know, you can check over the paperwork. I received everything that I put in your request.
He's got his tip certification. It looks good. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the change of manager for the Polish Pulaski Club.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So
Thank you.
we just need a signature on all those. I will upload that to the Alcohol Beverage Control Commission tomorrow.
Perfect.
And then they ask for a 90-day waiting period.
Okay.
Okay, so hopefully we hear something before the new license goes into effect. I think we're right on target for that. Usually they won't look at these if they come in December, so
Yeah.
we're like right on the line there.
Just let me know if we need to change anything.
Sure. Free to go unless you want to hear all the good stuff happening.
Thank you.
Yeah, now I'd like to open the public hearing for the transfer of license application, local burger seeking transfer of Riff's license. And he's here from that.
We are selling our license and location to Local Burger, and we can transfer it to them.
Paperwork gonna go through the first time on this one? You should know how to do it now, though.
Yeah, right,
That's
yeah.
been through this a couple of times
Right.
for different places. You going to have the same hours and
Yeah.
same business plan?
For the most part, yes.
Basically just turnkey?
Yes, correct. Yeah, going to a couple of small innovations, keep the same, obviously different menu, same bar hours, same restaurant hours. That's the Olson plans.
Lindsay, everything in order for you, tips and
As far as I know.
any questions?
Didn't you need the green cards? For the notices?
You bought it.
Oh, do you have those?
Yes,
Yeah, I'll take those.
They're not in the packet here.
This was sent out and returned.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a motion?
Motion to approve the transfer of license application from Riffs to Local Burger.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ready? These are all set.
Oh,
Perfect.
I'll upload that tomorrow to the ABCC.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's fine.
Awesome,
Thank you so
thanks.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a happy holiday.
Thank you. Always. Thank you. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'd like to now open the public hearing for the transfer of license application Jupiter seeking transfer of 121 club license.
I'm from Jupiter. The transfer is going from the 121 Club to Jupiter Club Incorporated. Basically the same general operating idea. It's going to be an event space, primarily catering to weddings. It's not going to be open, it's not a Monday through Friday type business. It's by booked appointments only.
Okay. And your wait staff's all going to be tip certified? How are you going to run the events?
There'll be a consistent event manager who's serve safe and tip certified, as well as we'll handle the bartending.
On site for every event?
Correct.
Okay.
And then as far as wait staff, it'll be outside catering. We aren't actually going to be the ones producing any food, so all the outside catering, with them bringing in wait staff as well. So we're not going to actually have wait staff employed at Jupiter, which may be a point of negotiation with catering at this point, but for the purpose of today.
So you're having an event, so the drinks aren't being, people don't order a drink at the table. They have to come up to the bar to get a drink.
Correct.
Okay. And at that time, you would ID them? Questions? Can I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the transfer of license of 121 Club to Jupiter.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I'll submit that tomorrow to the state. You're welcome. What are you gonna do with all this time?
I'm so happy. So the transfer, so you don't have to do my transfer thing, I don't,
You
the
good?
renewal, you've got it all.
Yeah, I'll,
Both for both?
yeah, somehow we'll reimburse you for the payment that you already did for Under the Bridge.
Right,
And then you,
and then he'll reimburse me for the.
correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're all set.
No, that was it. That's all.
Thank you.
Come on up to the big table.
Come on, Jelly Bean. Come on, Chief Norris.
So my buddy Tony.
I
just came to see one of these.
Yep. So, new business. Renewal applications. Submitted ones, incomplete ones, ones with issues. Please enlighten us.
All right. I did not receive an application at all from Sunset Motors or Pioneer Landscapes. And I just want to bring it to the board's attention that this is the
Cutoff date.
fifth year in a row that we've dealt with this with Sunset Motors. I did just check my voicemail and I have a phone call today from the receptionist saying, hey, we're looking for our renewal stuff. Where is it? It's been sent.
It's online.
It's online, it's been emailed, it's been delivered.
Sunset and what's the other one?
Pioneer Landscapes. Matt's Garage has paid, but they have not uploaded any documentation either.
Who's that?
Off of Main Street.
That's got a package store.
Oh, yep, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
I think it's actually on South Street.
He's a little difficult to get in touch with at times. So I will reach out one last time before I leave to have that done, but I've, sent the emails, gone through the portal.
So it's incomplete, right?
Incomplete, it's partially completed. I think the board does have a little more purview over dealerships than we do with alcohol licenses because they're not under the state regulation to have it submitted exactly on November 29th, so I would just ask that we give Matt a couple extra days just because I know he hates computers. he did submit the payment already, so I'm just gonna try and wiggle him a little more for the documents.
Do they get snail mail on this?
They do not anymore. This year I did send snail mail to everyone one last time saying, this is the last time I'm wasting paper. Please make sure to check the portal every year. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we have, for the fire department, we have Fort Hill Brewery, 7 Sports Bar, Glendale Grill, and Easthampton Diner, who they will receive sign-off for their liquor license, but then they are under conditions with the fire department for 90 days, and I'll let Dan speak on that.
Yeah, so.
Fort Hill, wait 1 second. Fort Hill, 7 Sports, Glendale Grill, and
The diner.
Easthampton Diner. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just to give you a little, a little synopsis. So Easthampton Diner, they've had compliance issues with their blast fan and their ventilation system. I did bring this up last year in my report and gave them 12 months to come into compliance, and they have not yet. Now he's scrambling and stuff. So we want to, again, all of this is in the spirit of so they can continue, doing what they're doing with their business. We'll give them 90 days and revisit it. And looking, with all of these, looking for the support from the board that if they don't come into compliance, that the license would be revoked and take action on it. So Easthampton Diner is that. Glendale Grill, newer this year. As far as bringing this forward, their kitchen system, their ventilation system, it appears that never had makeup air for their ventilation in the kitchen. And which creates an issue that I see with grease all over the kitchen area and such. So I'm going to be working with them. They're going to get, they've already made phone calls, they told me, to a licensed professional to come in and do a study with the ventilation. It looks like they're going to need to do some makeup air in the kitchen. And like I told them, it's going to be a much healthier environment and a cleaner environment and a safer environment for them to be in and cook in. So again, trying to work with them to fix those issues. And then the other two would be 7 Sports Bar and Fort Hill Brewery. I've been trying to, the businesses that have live entertainment in the evening, that would be like an A2, like a nightclub type thing, are supposed to have interconnection with their stage and their live entertainment with a fire alarm system. So that way if the fire alarm goes off, it shuts down the stage, sound system, and it brings up the house lights. And this is all from the station nightclub fire. And stuff, all safety mechanisms. So what I've been doing is I've been giving them time to do that. Both of these businesses, I again told them last year they need to do this. I spelled out the code to them and let them know they had 12 months to do it. They waited till the last minute. I'm confident that they're going to complete that. I know Fort Hill has done the interconnection with the sound system. They're still working on the lighting system, so they're halfway there. And I believe Sevens is the same way. So I've been in contact with them and working with them on that. But again, with this, I'd like to kind of hold them accountable till we get this completed. It's a big safety requirement. It's a big safety issue for them, their workers, their patrons, and stuff to get this completed. And we thought that to give them 90 days would be a sufficient time for them to remedy those issues. And again, I'll work with them through that. So, how it's going to proceed from here.
So my understanding is we have to sign off on the licenses, but I can instruct Lindsay to have these 4 businesses at our April meeting, and you also to report either they're in compliance or they're not in compliance. If they are not in compliance, we will then send a letter to the ABCC requesting the suspension of their license.
Okay.
So they have until whatever our April meeting is.
Would it be March or April?
It's April, because they have 3 months, so
Okay.
January, February, March, April.
Okay, that's great.
That gives them the 90 days, and that's what we will do. With Fort Hill, I want to point out too, though, when does the license, or when does the outdoor expire, the state allowing outdoor drinking without an amendment to a license? Is
The
that-
extension of premises as well as to-go alcohol ends on April 1st.
So there again, Fort Hill has never put in an amendment to their license for that
Extended space.
extended space. So that would be the other thing that they would be coming before us also. They have never asked to extend their license out to that entertainment area. Only the stone patio is the only thing that is part of their license. So anything they've built past that has not been approved for them to be having alcohol on, other than getting the variance right now that the state has given them.
I also sent an email today, I BCC'd you on letting those 4 businesses know that we'll follow up with that too, and that they need to be in compliance with the 90 days or they're at risk for losing their license, so.
Any other?
Sounds reasonable to me.
Appreciate your support.
All right, so that's the 4 for fire department. Next,
That's it.
that's it. What is happening with Mission Taco?
So I think everyone has the same emails from the city solicitor that they are seeking permit, and if their permit is denied, then they'll be seeking an appeal through the state. While they're going through a permit or an appeal process, we cannot deny them a license because they are actively working to do something.
But as of April 1st, well, their
They're already
area
licensed for
is
that
licensed for the
yeah.
space.
It's not about an extension for them. So.
But they do not have on their building plan, there is not an outdoor bar on what we approved. There is only an indoor
Right,
bar.
we already addressed this with them though. They haven't been using that for serving. We addressed this with them last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so they don't use that for serving, but the structures are a problem with the building department. Well, I think they're fine with fire, right?
Yes.
But they haven't been permitted through the building department, so that's what they need to get a permit for. And if the permit's denied, they need to appeal that. And so the city solicitor said appeals can sometimes take years. I don't know anything about that, I've never seen that happen. So he said we can't deny the right to an entity if they're seeking an appeal or a permit at that time. So we have something in writing from MC Taco's attorney, as well as our city solicitor for backing all that information.
Okay. But how do we monitor that they are actually doing this and not just
The
sitting
affidavit
back?
from the attorney.
Okay. Because they can say they're doing it and they're not.
Right,
doing
which
it.
is what I think we have experienced over the last year, is that there was a lot of communication barriers between both the city and the entity. And so I really advocated to our solicitor that he needed to get something in writing from MC Taco, that they would seek the permit and or an appeal within the next X amount of days, so.
And
they
what are the?
They are working on that language tonight.
Okay.
And
So
was our only objection that they didn't
So.
have a building permit?
Yeah, so the MGL requires, I think it's like 138, requires building and fire sign off to get a license renewal. And at this time, they don't have building sign off because the permits outside are not, the structures outside are not permitted.
Okay.
Is that right?
Right, they're in violation of the 780 CMR. They have had 2 years. I served them with a letter which gave them 45 days to appeal, which they ignored. They are not seeking any permit from me now. I don't have any documentation. And they are in violation because of the structure I had them remove last year. They then brought back 2 more structures which are not permitted.
And is there any recourse with the person that's building these structures? Is it a licensed person? Do you
No.
know who's building them?
Yes, myself, the alternate for the city, and the state inspector were there. We posted on these structures a stop work order. They removed them and continued to put the structure together and use them all summer.
And I am sure then if they are not permitted, they're probably not built correctly and they are a hazard to the public in some way, correct?
And you have to walk
Fire-wise,
by
or-
them if you enter from the front. If you go there now, they are lit up and by a right sitting there in the public way.
I don't go to the place, so I've never seen them personally. Have anybody?
I've seen them.
I was there when we issued the stop work order.
Okay. But they, even with this, even though that they're appealing it, they still can't serve alcohol out of this, can they?
They never were serving alcohol out there.
Okay.
They still serve from the bar and would bring drinks outside. And they are licensed on that premises. So it's not really, the only thing that involves the liquor license is that we require the building department sign off for renewal.
Okay.
So it was very sticky situation to be in for both the building department and the licensing department, which is why the city solicitor got involved, because I asked that he advise on the next steps.
So we can't even do, like, say they have till April 1st, because if they're doing this appeal.
Right, we don't have any purview over the building department or any appeal processes with the state. That has nothing to do with us.
But we can monitor
There is
their,
no appeal going on. Right, that's the problem.
Right, but we have you received the email, right, from the attorney?
I saw what he suggested could be
Okay.
done. He
Yeah.
didn't say that, and he said in the bottom that this was by no way clear cut. He never said that this board cannot rule to not give them their liquor license. He said there's some options that they could do, that MC
Yeah, there
Taco
was a
could
follow-up.
send a letter stating they wouldn't use the structure.
Mhm.
They could do, there's nothing in my code that says during an appeal, there is no appeal going on.
Okay.
They're in violation of the code. And I
So they're in we have anything from their attorney saying that they're appealing something?
Yeah, the last email we do.
Okay.
here, you can
That
find
they
it
are
quick.
going
I haven't
to-
had a chance to read it. I printed it out right before I got here. But we can monitor if it's moving forward and request
I mean,
that the,
The building department could come to us and say, it's been 90 days, they haven't submitted anything, revoke the license.
Yeah.
That's absolutely acceptable.
well, I think with that's exactly what we should do. They should be here for April 1st, or our first meeting in April, with proof of they've done one of the things that they say they're gonna do. And if they haven't, same thing, we go to the ABCC and we ask to suspend their license. So,
The board's.
that we can do. As long, they have to show us proof, not that they're working on it, but I want to see
Right.
proof that they're doing something, that it's been appealed, that an
Yeah.
appeal has been submitted.
Yeah, because they said at this point you cannot get a letter signed by the client.
Yeah, that was last night.
That was last night. So they're saying that they have something in hand now.
Mark said he would have it tonight.
Okay. But
So I can try and get him on the phone now and conference him into this meeting, or I know our commissioner is frustrated right now.
Well, I'm frustrated too, because
Yeah,
this isn't the
it
first
hasn't been
thing with
an
Mission
easy
Taco.
thing to deal with.
Every year it's something with Mission Taco,
Right.
every year.
So that's why I asked the city solicitor to connect with the commissioner, to connect with me, to make sure, and above all, to connect with the attorney who was trying to get me to speak, and I would not speak on behalf of the licensing board, I would not speak on behalf of the building department. I was not willing to do that. He had a lot of issues with what was happening with the city, so I made sure he connected with the city solicitor, and they, spoke their legal jargon and worked through this and said this is how we need to proceed, so.
It says before we were doing online permitting, he wouldn't even submit anything, and I can remember talking to you on New Year's Eve saying, I want the police chief there at midnight, that there's no drinks being served. It's just, this is how he does things, and it's gotta stop somewhere.
And he's had 2 years
Yeah,
to submit paperwork to put up a proper structure there. 2 years. And instead, it was again, the situation that we have at hand. he submitted paperwork for a permit for a tent that would be located where those two structures are. I have the paperwork if you want to look at it.
What is the structures that he built? What is it? Like,
Sheds.
what?
Sheds. Okay.
Do people sit inside of them?
Two
Yes.
sheds,
Yeah.
two of them, yeah, like 2 sheds.
This is the one that he had to remove last year.
Oh, he was building like a pavilion.
Right. And so if you look at, you go by there now and you look, it looks like these two halves, it was cut in half and those two halves are back. Here's the tent permit that he got, and here's the picture of where that tent was supposed to be.
So
Sidewalk, tent.
I just want to make it also clear that the attorney for Mission Taco is coming after the city of Easthampton. So I just want to make sure that people are aware that this is between Mission Taco's attorney and the city solicitor at this point, that we don't have any purview to regulate this, because they are saying there was miscommunication between the permitting and I think we have to be cognizant that there has been a contentious relationship between Mission Taco and the city for a very long time.
Yeah, since he bought the restaurant.
Right, but I want to make sure we're not doing character assassinations of any city employee or of any employee of Mission Taco either. So I just want to make sure like we're all on the same page, that BJ knows her stuff and she knows her code and she knows what's wrong here. But that MC Taco's attorney is arguing the signatures on the permits, they are arguing conversations, they are arguing emails, so it would behoove the board to leave this.
Permits?
Yeah, they're saying that they were legally done. I mean, this is messy, so I just want to, it would behoove the board not to get involved further than they have to. If the building department at this time wants to say, do not issue a license, that's completely, something you're allowed to say, but I just want to make sure that everyone is aware this is in legal counsel right now. It's not appropriate for us to make any decision other than what our solicitor has advised us to do.
And what is our solicitor advising us to do?
That we cannot, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, Lindsay. No, sorry.
Okay, we cannot deny a license if someone is seeking a permit or an appeal. And I hear there is not an appeal in right now, and that a permit hasn't been submitted. But they do legally have until November 30th with the state to do that. So they do have 2 more days to submit something to the building department. And BJ can sit there on November 30th and deny it, and then they have the right to still appeal that with the state. We can't stop them from doing that.
But they have 90 days to appeal it, correct? After 90 days, they can't appeal it.
45 days to appeal my decision.
45?
To my board, the State Board of Building Regulations and Standards.
So 45 days, that gives us, so they have till November 30th, so then you have December, the middle of January. So if we put it on for our February meeting, that they have to be present and they have to submit to us documentation that an appeal has been submitted, then they can continue, but if they do not have that, it goes to the ABCC for suspension. Correct? Am I calculating that correctly?
The timeline sounds right.
All right. So we will approve the license, but that's what they are on the agenda for the February meeting.
Also be clear, this isn't a meeting to approve Mission
No,
Taco's license.
I'm
That's
just
in
saying,
December.
that's what we have to do.
So, I mean, BJ could come to us in December and say they have an appeal in, or they have a permit in. Or she could come to us in December and say, nothing has been submitted, and at that time, you don't need to renew their license.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the plan of action will be, the worst case scenario, that he'll be on for the February.
Right.
But we'll know in December.
Well, we should know by December
Yeah.
if they have something moving. And if they don't, then I would suggest to the board at that time, we'll have enough legal counsel, we'll have enough documentation, we'll have enough to make an informed decision for 2024.
And being that this is possibly a dangerous structure, can't the Board of Health say that they can't?
I think it's
So
all
I've
under
said it,
BJ's
I've
code.
said it.
Okay.
I don't think it has anything to do with health code.
It's a building code,
Yeah.
and they're unpermitted.
So it's just not safe for people to be sitting under those structures, so. All right, well, that's what we'll take it from there. When it comes in December, at our December meeting, when we're signing off, that's when we will question that.
And I can respond to both solicitors tomorrow
Mhm.
morning and let them know that this was discussed at the board.
Yep, no, tell them exactly how we're gonna proceed. All right, anything else anybody wants to talk about? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, pictures. So our next meeting will be December 12th at 4 o'clock. Signing away. Just circling back to the minutes. Just for, you weren't here at our last meeting, but Tony and I had approved the co-op's change of officers, directors, and it was conditional under a DBA certificate. They submitted it. I asked Lindsay, she said yes. And then the legislative licenses for renewal, when we questioned about pocket licenses, Will Bundy said tonight that he is not renewing his Under the Bridge license. That was one of them that we talked about. The other one is 413. What are they doing?
They're selling. So they have to renew to keep the license active, but they are
Okay.
actively seeking to sell.
Okay. Were there any, those I think were the only two that we were talking about.
Yes.
Riffs, we know what's happening with that.
Riffs was on, Riffs, Under the Bridge, 121 Club.
The groom license is
413,
available
groom
for
license is available.
Highway Business
Highway
District.
business only.
But we need to find out the Under the Bridge license. I don't know if that is a over quota license or not. It might be, but I'm not positive.
I have them all marked up on that spreadsheet, so
Okay.
it should be easy to access.
The reason why I question that, the Apollo Grill license that became the club license that he's transferring today, that was not an over quota license. So that could have gone anywhere. But if the Under the Bridge is an over quota, he's technically getting to keep it and not paying for it because it's on his.
Under the Bridge is not an over quota license.
It comes back to
So it
us. So
comes
now
back
we have
to
another.
us. And that is a wine and malt general on premise.
Okay.
So we never got the legislature to change the language.
Not yet.
Did we submit that?
I submitted
Okay.
3 times.
Okay.
And in
And-
different ways and.
And I asked Dan Carey twice and his secretary for follow-up, and those emails went unread. So, I can ask the city council president to intervene. I have asked, city councilor Tom Peake has also tried to reach out about that. So,
I mean, all we have to do is get them not tied to a location, and that opens up a lot
it would,
of
but
licenses.
I don't think they'll do that. We just need them back, even tied to a location.
We can't though, those locations are never gonna be anything, like Big Bear, or whatever that was, the barbecue joint, that's somebody's house now. The Stone Pony, that's all different, I think that's the marijuana place, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can have them tied to the district.
Yeah, I mean, we
That would
happily
help.
do that, but we just, if, It was a typo.
Well, they
First
are
off,
attached
they
at
cut and
district.
paste from
Yeah.
the other
Right.
ones that we had.
Or are we talking about the ones that like massage schools? Because the most current ones are attached to a district.
Yeah,
Those are the ones we're looking to get back.
Right.
well, even
I
those
didn't
would
add
be
in
good.
the older ones.
The older ones that were tied to a particular address.
I mean, if the board would like to submit a letter to me to submit to the state, I can also do that. That might be more helpful too. I mean, I've submitted something.
I mean,
on behalf of the
without
board,
being
but-
able to give out liquor licenses, it's stunting the growth of the economy.
Yeah.
And there's nobody's gonna come in with restaurants, nobody's gonna, if they can't serve alcohol, they're not gonna come in.
Right.
And we're not gonna get revenue if it's all bring your own, so that's not helpful.
So if I were to draft up something, I'm not saying that I will.
If you did,
But if I did.
I would send it for
But
you.
but if I.
If you were like, hey, I sit on the licensing
Right.
board and I've
Like the-
heard lots of complaints
Yeah.
and our
People
clerk
aren't
has
coming
reached
in
out
here.
for 2 years and.
Okay, and so with that, but if I were to send it to you, and you were to send it to them, would that?
They could sign on.
They could sign, it wouldn't be deliberating? I just don't want to violate open meeting laws by sending you something and not bringing it to the meeting. I'm not sure which I should.
No, I think you should just bring it to the meeting then and submit it at the meeting.
Yeah,
New business.
there you go.
I was thinking, this is a great idea. That would be the best way to do it, yeah.
Let me see if I can add that to my file.
On your list? Well, you're cuddling a goat. Just
No, it's
scribble
not-
away.
I don't even have time for that.
All right, anything else? All right, could I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.